It's 6:33 in the morning in Lino Lakes, Minnesota, and I've got my bundles of cable undone so they can load them outside in the rain. It's a good thing I kept them dry on the way up here, though. Why that is the case, I don't know. Sometimes it's I think it's just they have a standard that they just keep all year for winter weather. They just don't change it for the summer. I guess, if you want to keep all road contaminants off of it, this might be a way, but I assume that when this place is dry, there is an awful amount of dust and silicates in the air that would contaminate it just as bad as it traveling over the road. But what do I know? What do I know? It was awful weather last night. I want to say it was around 3 a.m., maybe a little bit sooner. The truck started shaking, and it wasn't because a person was pushing on it or a truck. The wind was buffeting my truck. And I have an application. I took a look at the weather. It has it always shows the local radar where I'm at instantly, so I can see what weather's coming on. And it had one of those. It had bad weather like approaching my direction, but then it had one of those special areas that they cordon off and fill with a special color, saying, "Hey, this is gonna be like, watch out if you're in this area," which is where I was at. So I was like, went back to bed thinking, well, I guess a tornado could hit. So we'll see. There was lightning definitely striking really close. They have a lot of tall metal objects around here, so I'm not surprised. But it passed after probably about an hour and then just rained the rest of the night. Because when I got here, it was bone dry. And it is not so bone dry anymore. I've got everything unloaded. I've got everything untarped and unsecured, and all that stuff's put away. All I have left is to wait for them to forklift those stuff off. A forklift driver drove me over here and told me where to park, and they'll pull them off. And if you look in my side mirror, they will put them with the rest of those bundles they have on the ground. And it is a concrete form manufacturing facility. So while I was attempting to pull the tarp off, well, no, even before then, I was just undoing bungees. Usually I go around and undo one side of all the bungees, then go back around and pick them all up in one bundle instead of trying to undo them and put them in one hand. That leaves me only one hand to work with. So I tend to loosen all the bungees first and then pull them all off. Well, in my effort to do that, apparently there was a large lake developed on the top of my tarp, and it decided to land on me. I was just loosening a bungee. All of a sudden, I started getting flashbacks to water survival school. And I got up 33 minutes ago. These are all brand new, clean, dry clothes, and all I could do was laugh because as soon as I saw it hitting me and feeling it and realizing, hey, this is not rain, because it was not slow. It drenched the front side of me, so I may have to change clothes again. We'll see how quickly it may or may not dry out. I have extra shirts and clothes, but it's just funny to start your day out and then have to restart your day out. So we'll see. He said he would be back in about 15 minutes, so I assume I'll be unloaded here shortly, and then we'll hopefully see what we get next. I would have preferred to have a pre-plan last night. This way, when I unloaded and there's nobody in the office to give me a new load, I could know where to go. Especially when you've started your clock and it's a Friday and you want to get home. But I'm okay. As long as they have a place to park here, I will be golden. I parked here overnight, but I don't know if they'll allow me to just park and wait for a new assignment. Because like I covered in previous videos, they've a lot of these places that seem like they have lots of room, sometimes they just like you to leave and not crowd their parking lot. So we shall see how this goes. That's it for now. Yep. This is Minnesota. This is, I still haven't moved. That dot right there is where I'm at. You can see where I'm at in relationship to Minneapolis, St. Paul. And this is pretty much the way it looked last night as it was starting. I was on the front edge of bad weather as it's moving across the map, and there was this streak right here, but there was a box like about that size heading right towards me. So you can see the it's not too bad. I don't consider this bad weather. It's when the entire map is covered with bad weather, then you know, because there's the stuff that hit me last night. It makes me wonder how much this updates. See, it shows locally a different. Yeah. Sometimes I don't trust these things. Let me see if I can get back to it. So, it makes you think the worst of the weather is past and headed off to the east a little bit more. So, all the little dots are just temperatures. And I need to get back to this location right here, St. Louis. So I can tell that it may be cloudy most of the way, but it's going to be fairly decent. It's not going to be horrible weather where people have to slow down because it's raining so bad. But we shall see. But that's what I live. That's what that was my sleeping conditions right there. That big cloud of awesomeness. Okay, I'm calculating a new route because they actually found a load swap for me. I picked up a load of sheet steel, and it was going to Chicago Heights, which is about 4.5 hours short of where I need to go, which is my home. So I'm working on this right now. I'm at a rest area after mile marker 41 east on 94, the first rest stop after that exit. What we're planning on doing is our load swap here. My GPS is going through its calculations, and I just wanted to see what I had to be working with here. 8 hours. Ooh, it's gonna be close.
Continue on this road for 103 miles.
Home. Messaging. You had 5 hours and 52 minutes of remaining drive time.
Okay, yeah.
Continue on this road for 103 miles.
All right, should work. Because I have 9 hours and 30 minutes of drive time left. And 10 hours and 46 left on my 14-hour clock. So I apologize because this keeps going out of focus, and I don't know why, because I'm not touching anything. It's strictly the phone's fault. So I picked up sheet metal, which plate steel. It's really thin though. It's almost sheet metal, but I guess it's called steel plate, but it's like a 1/4 inch thick, and it's a bunch of them. And the funny thing is the person I load swapped with is I'm trying to do this looking through my phone. That's too close. There. I picked up my sheet steel. Sorry for the interruption. I got a phone call from work, And it looks like I'll be going to Little Rock, Arkansas next week for something. We'll see. Anyway, I picked up my steel here in St. Paul. And south of here is a town called Shakopee, where we often get shingles. And I thought that's where I would be going. The funny thing is I got my steel, and this other driver got the shingles, and now we're doing a load swap. Whereas I could have just originally gone there to get that load and gone home, and he could have got the steel and gone home. So I'm not sure how it exactly got planned that way. I'm about an hour ahead of him, so we were going to meet in Madison, but since he's traveling on the same road I am, I stopped here for my load check and gave him a call. Found out where he was at because I had no idea where this guy was at. I thought he might have been somewhere closer to Madison. Come to find out, he's coming right from where I came from. So I'm just going to wait here like an hour. He'll come. We'll swap our load and get on our merry way to get home. And now my load doesn't deliver in Madison. This new load This new load I'm getting, I want to say, delivers somewhere near Peoria, Illinois. So I will be traveling out of route to go home, but they said I can take the load home. And that's what's important to me, getting home. So I will drive basically past where I need to deliver, go home, and then come back to deliver the following week for its Monday delivery date. I don't know if it's got a specific appointment time or if it's an open appointment time. I'm hoping for an open appointment time. This way I can actually leave on Monday. If it's got a specific appointment time that's early in the morning, I may have to leave on Sunday. So I always hope for the open appointment times on Monday because that gives me the most flexibility as to when I have to start my work week. Because if I started on Monday, I still start early. But if it's an early appointment time on a Monday, and if it's very far away, I have to start on Sunday, which I try to avoid because I try to maximize my time with my wife and my children. Because my children definitely don't like me doing this job. They like it when I come home because we have this thing that we do. I run to Circle K with them and I buy them all a treat, and they look forward to that. So anyway, enough of my personal life. I'm assuming this gentleman has shingles. I don't know for sure, and I don't know the exact. They told me on the phone, but I can't remember. That's why I write everything down because I forget everything. But I want to say it was Canton, Illinois, but it might be something else. And so we will see once he gets here and we swap paperwork and they actually send us the electronic messages on our Qualcomm or our Omnitrax units. I will know where this load needs to be delivered, and I can plan my official route, because right now it's just an estimated 8 hours and 50 minutes, which is the fastest. Right now I'm concerned more about the quickest way to get home versus the shortest way to get home, because I'm up against the clock, because I'm going to have to take a 30-minute break and get home, because it's greater than 8 hours to get there, and every 8 hours you have to take a 30-minute break. So I am right now I have the time to do it. It's I hate holding this phone with my right hand. So when I swap, think it causes problems. I'm not a lefty, I'm a righty. Yeah. So based on the times, I should make it, as long as the gentleman that I'm doing the load swap with doesn't have any issues between where he's at now and arriving at this particular stop. There's plenty of space. There's a space open on my left and a whole bunch of spaces on my right. So I'm hoping that he can arrive, and it should go fairly quick. It's not like we will be re-securing or re-tarping anything. We're just trading out trailers, and then any equipment that is contained within our headache rack, that would be or in our side compartment where straps are, those would be the only items we need to maybe do a little bit of swapping of to make sure that he has the appropriate amount of equipment, and so do I. Because every driver has the same equipment and the same levels of equipment. So when you're doing these load swaps, it makes it really convenient and easy to do because you just have to maintain the same amount. So I use 7 chains and steel securements on this particular load that I have. If he used straps, that means he'll put 7 chains and 7 steel securements, either over center binders or ratchets, right on this deck of the trailer I'm picking up. So when I back underneath it, I can just throw that stuff on my headache rack. I'm good to go. And he should be all straps. And so I'll just throw a bunch of straps on this trailer. We'll find out when we get here. It goes really quick. It's much better than a preloaded trailer. Because most preloaded trailers don't have any equipment in them. So we have to swap all our tarps and lumber and everything from the trailer we're dropping and put it into our new trailer we're picking up that has the product on it. But most times we have to secure that and tarp it as well, so it can be a lengthy process. But I'm excited right now because I was initially thinking, based on my initial assignment that delivers in Chicago Heights, that I was going to be spending the weekend near Chicago, which is the worst weekend I can imagine. Spending any amount of time near Chicago is bad. I know there's people that probably like that city and probably enjoy living there. No, I am just not one of those individuals. Anything I can do to stay away from Chicago, I appreciate. How long have I been here? I've been here for 30 minutes. So if this gentleman is where I estimate he is, you should see him pulling up in the next 30 minutes. So let's just watch. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to sit there for 30 minutes. Yeah, so right now that's all that's going on. We'll see how this goes. I'll report back. If you can even see here, it's what, 651 mile day? It's a good day. And I've 651 miles, and I've got 4 minutes left on my clock, so I made it home. Have a good weekend. Later.